In the dawn of time, when the earth was still young and humanity was in its infancy, a shadow fell across the world. A story unfolded, one of immense consequence, etched into the ancient texts of the Bible. This is the story of the Watchers, the sons of God, and the enigmatic Nephilim. Genesis chapter 6 begins with a startling account. When man began to multiply on the face of the land and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of man were attractive, and they took as their wives any they chose. Who were these sons of God? For centuries, scholars have debated their identity. One ancient and influential interpretation identifies them as angels, celestial beings who descended from their heavenly abode, drawn by the beauty of mortal women. Imagine these beings, once pure and dwelling in the light of the divine, making a pact. High upon a sacred mountain, they bound themselves by an oath to defy the celestial order. They abandoned their first estate, their designated place in the heavens, driven by a desire that was not meant for them. This was not a simple mistake. It was a willful rebellion, a conscious turning away from the divine plan. Their descent brought forbidden knowledge to humankind. They taught the secrets of the heavens and the earth, cosmetics, weaponry, sorcery, and the art of warfare. What might have seemed like gifts were, in fact, corrupting influences, leading humanity further down a path of wickedness and away from their Creator. The world, once filled with the promise of Eden, began to spiral into violence and lawlessness. The Scripture tells us the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. From the union of these fallen angels and human women, a new race was born, the Nephilim. Genesis describes them as the mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. The word Nephilim itself is often translated as giants, but its root may also mean the fallen ones. They were beings of immense stature and strength, a hybrid race that walked the earth before the great flood. Their presence marked a profound transgression, a blurring of the lines between the celestial and the terrestrial, the holy and the profane. These were not gentle giants from fairy tales. Their existence contributed to the growing corruption and violence that consumed the world. The ancient Book of Enoch, a non-canonical text but one that was influential in early Jewish and Christian thought, paints a vivid picture of the chaos they unleashed. It speaks of them consuming the toil of men, turning on humanity, and even on each other, filling the earth with bloodshed and injustice. The land itself cried out under the weight of this corruption. God looked upon the world he had created, a world now marred by sin and rebellion, and his heart was grieved. The harmony between heaven and earth had been broken. The transgression of the Watchers and the rise of the Nephilim were symptoms of a deeper sickness, a pervasive evil that had taken root in the heart of humanity. The divine response was one of sorrow, but also of justice. A judgment was decreed. For the fallen angels who had abandoned their post, a grim fate awaited. The Apostle Peter tells us, "For if God did not spare angels when they sinned, but cast them into hell and committed them to chains of gloomy darkness to be kept until the judgment." Jude echoes this, writing that the angels who did not keep their own domain, he has kept in eternal chains under gloomy darkness until the judgment of the great day. They were imprisoned, bound in the abyss, as a testament to the fact that no rebellion against the divine order goes unanswered. And for the world that had become so corrupt, God declared a cleansing, a washing away of the wickedness that had stained creation. He chose one righteous man, Noah, who found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Through Noah and his family, humanity would be given a new beginning. The great flood was not merely an act of destruction, it was an act of purification, a divine reset designed to preserve the lineage of humanity and wash the earth clean of the Nephilim and the pervasive evil they represented. The waters rose covering the mountains, and all in whose nostrils was the breath of life on dry land died. The age of the Nephilim came to a dramatic and watery end. But does the story end there? After the flood, in the book of Numbers, we encounter a curious passage. When the Israelite spies return from scouting the land of Canaan, they give a fearful report. They say, "And there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Enoch, who come from the Nephilim. And we seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers, and so we seemed to them." How could this be? Were the Nephilim not destroyed in the flood? This passage has puzzled theologians for ages. Some suggest that the spies were exaggerating out of fear, using the legendary name Nephilim to describe the large and intimidating people they saw, like the Anakim. It was a way of saying, "These men are as terrifying as the giants of old." Others propose that the term Nephilim had become a more general descriptor for giants or powerful warriors. A third, more speculative view hints at a second incursion of fallen beings, though this is not explicitly supported by the main biblical narrative. Regardless of the interpretation, the legacy of these formidable beings cast a long shadow, instilling fear even generations after the flood. The story of the fallen angels and the Nephilim is more than just an ancient myth of giants and rebellious gods. It's a profound theological drama about order and chaos, obedience and rebellion, and the sacred boundaries established by God. It serves as a powerful warning about the dangers of forbidden knowledge and the corrupting nature of pride. The desire of the Watchers to cross a boundary set by God led to catastrophic consequences for themselves and for humanity. It's also a story of God's sovereignty and His ultimate justice. Even in the face of celestial rebellion and widespread human wickedness, God's plan was not thwarted. He acted decisively to judge sin, to cleanse the world, and to preserve a remnant through whom His ultimate purpose of redemption would be fulfilled. The imprisonment of the angels and the cleansing of the earth by the flood demonstrate that God's authority is absolute. This ancient account reminds us that we are part of a much larger cosmic story, a battle between light and darkness, faith and rebellion. It highlights the constant need for humanity to walk in humility and obedience before our Creator, respecting the divine order He has established. The story challenges us to look beyond the veil of our physical world and recognize the spiritual realities that shape our existence. In the end, the tale of the Nephilim and the fallen Watchers is a testament to God's unwavering faithfulness and His ultimate victory over the forces of darkness. It is a somber, epic, and timeless reminder that even when shadows fall and chaos reigns, the light of divine justice and grace will always prevail, leading humanity back toward the path of redemption. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the Bible's most mysterious narratives. If this story has sparked your curiosity and deepened your faith, please like this video, subscribe to our channel for more content like this, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We look forward to exploring more of these profound stories with you.